This GeForce Now Thursday, we have quite an exciting list of games coming to the service this week, but before we take a look at that, let's wrap up all the other GFN news that there is to talk about, beginning with server upgrades. Brand new 4080 SuperPods are now available in Miami, Portland, Oregon, and Stockholm. This is huge for me personally, as I can now connect to the closest server located by me, and I can enjoy that sweet 4080 experience with the lowest latency possible. But it also represents a major milestone for GeForce Now servers overall, as the only remaining server upgrade left, from what I can tell, is the US Mountain region. One thing I am curious to see is whether or not they plan on adding more servers to other locations, as the one in Portland I believe is the first server to be placed there. Either way, more availability for that 4080 goodness is good news for everyone. In other major news that's somewhat related to GFN, Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard has been blocked by the CMA. This is something I really debated putting as a part of GFN Thursday, but I figured it would be best to at least mention it and bring it up since I know it will be asked. As of right now, we have no official word from Microsoft, Nvidia, Boosteroid, or any of the other companies that signed a deal with Microsoft to get their games brought to their cloud gaming services, and rest assured that I will update you all if that happens at a moment's notice. I will be making a separate video talking about this blockage and what it means and what it could potentially lead to, but for now, let me ask you, what do you think? Do you agree or disagree with the CMA's decision to block the deal? After all, the reasoning given was due to cloud gaming. Leave your thoughts down in the comments section below. But now let's get to the games arriving this week, and I'm happy to report we have a few exciting releases. And that's because Capcom is officially bringing Resident Evil 2, 3, and 7 to GeForce Now. These are all fantastic entries into the Resident Evil franchise and well worth your time if you're a fan of survival horror. Priority tier and Ultimate members will be getting the most out of the experience with RTX on support for realistic lighting and deep shadows. I will say I'm slightly disappointed that Resident Evil 4's remake isn't included on the list, but it is a step closer toward that being a goal. Most importantly though, it does seem like Capcom is interested in supporting GFN, and I hope to see more of their games continue to be brought forward in the future. But now let's take a look at the other games arriving this week, and up first we're taking a look at Shadows of Doubt, a new release on Steam. Now if you haven't heard of this game, I will say it's another pretty big highlight for me. The game is an immersive sandbox detective stealth game. It takes place in a fully simulated sci-fi noir city of crime and corruption, and it's up to you to investigate the crimes that take place. Now what really makes this interesting is that it is procedurally generated. While it is only in early access, there is still a ton of variation and it is getting a lot of hype online. The game is currently sitting at very positive over on Steam. Following that, we have Afterimage, which is described as a hand-drawn 2D action game that emphasizes fast-paced combat with diversified character builds, non-linear levels, and a gripping story set in a fantasy world. The game's key features include over 170 varieties of enemies, including 30 tough boss encounters, deep RPG mechanics, and over 40 original orchestral tracks to listen to while exploring this beautiful world. Based on reviews, it seems to be getting a lot of comparisons to Ori and Hollow Knight, so if those games interest you, be sure to give it a look. Now let's take a look at Roots of Pacha, a game that allows you to be a part of a thriving Stone Age community, discovering ideas, domesticating crops, befriending animals, and contributing to the growth of your village. The game certainly reminds me of Stardew Valley, and much like it, it can be both played in single player and online co-op. The game's currently sitting at very positive reviews over on Steam, with many Stardew Valley fans saying that this is a worthy game of your time if you enjoyed that title. Now before moving on to the next game, I actually have some news that just came in regarding the Activision Blizzard acquisition from Microsoft and what it means for the deal with Nvidia and bringing Microsoft's games over. And the update comes from Medium.com, which has stated that an Nvidia spokesperson has stated that the agreement with Microsoft and Xbox PC games will proceed regardless of the outcome of the acquisition. Now this shouldn't be too surprising, as given the wording of the contract did seem to imply that was the case, but it is great to hear this confirmation yet again after the big news today. And with that quick news out of the way, let's get back to the games arriving this week. Up next we have Bramble the Mountain King. It's a grim adventure set in a world inspired by dark Nordic fables, where you get to explore the beautiful yet dangerous and twisted land of Bramble. Your endeavor is to rescue your sister as you traverse the wondrous landscape and survive deadly encounters with many hideous creatures. Now I do want to point out that the game does have a mature content description saying that there are scenes that will be violent and bloody, so be aware of that before diving in. The game is described as a horror adventure. Now let's take a look at the Swordman X Survival, which is a martial arts open world adventure game that combines survival and crafting. anything. Now I can't say I know much about this game, but I will point out that the Steam page does say that the English language is not supported. Despite that, the description does state that you will be able to build your own martial arts school, have a base, and build a home. The Steam page does say it supports both online PvP and online co-op, but I'm not entirely sure whether that's true or not, so be wary and make sure you research the game yourself before picking it up. The last title you can expect to arrive on GeForce Now this week is one that you can get for free on the Epic Games Store, and that's Poker Club. The developers describe it as the most immersive poker simulation ever made. In it, you get to live the life of a poker pro in a global poker tour, and then join a club to make a name for yourself in up to 200 player online tournaments. So if you're at all into poker, be sure to check it out for free on the Epic Games Store while you can claim it this week. Do let me know what game you're most excited to play this week down in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed today's video or found it helpful at all, be sure to hit that like button as it really does help the channel out. And if you're wanting more content like this, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell as well. As always, thank you for watching the video. This has been the Virtual Cloud, giving you the latest and greatest on everything cloud gaming related. And until next time, I'll catch you in the clouds.